We do speak with material connection. We do specify certain things, and we work with carbon fiber factories. But what can you say about carbon fiber? It's only sustainable in its lifespan. So it is an incredibly difficult thing for me to sit here and say, yes, I'm responsible, because I can't be. We use recycled paper on all our packaging. That's one thing we do. So whatever we can do, we do. But we do design. We don't design products that don't last a long time, and that's really one of the greatest things that I can do.
Hello, Michael. Thank you for coming to share with us with your great products and ideas. So you also mentioned about China being a very good production base. But how would you see China as a market? And because you have designed a lot of good stuff for the European and the US market, but how about China?
Well, a lot of these companies here, I think I'd say about 80% of the companies you've seen here are Chinese or Hong Kong-based companies. So they all are actually owned by local people. So for example, a lot of them, the luggage company sells really well in China. And it's really, when I first came here, it was actually incredibly difficult. And it's taken a long time for a lot of the new sort of generation of people I'm working with to actually start to market into China and put my name on a tag and open a retail store and get the PR and stuff going on. I mean, I don't actually make an effort. I don't actively do any marketing in China whatsoever. I just let it happen organically, which is fairly crazy. But it does seem to happen organically. Over the last 3 years, it's started to get a lot more serious with Chinese brands understanding that they can work with me. So I've had to prove my value to a lot of people to take me seriously. So if I go, we're starting to work with a telephone brand, and it's taken me this long for the CEO to go, okay, he's not lying. Because there's a lot of companies come here from Europe with a lot of experience and a lot of PDF. But the reality is they don't actually understand the market and how it's changing in different parts of China. And I guess we're lucky enough to have worked to learn a tiny bit, enough to say we're not bullshitting when we design something. We actually have a little understanding. So for us, it's really just beginning after all this time. We've now signed quite a few contracts. So next year should be a big year for us, I hope.
Just to follow on, what attracts you to make a toilet in Beijing?
What attracts me? Well, I was actually asked to do it in Dashla by the local. There's a creative development going on there, and I was recommended to do it. And for me, it was such an absurd project that I had to do it, no matter what. So I went there, and it was very humanizing because, I could have done something. I could have done something crazy, or I could have used it as an artistic experience. But when I went there, I realized that there were old ladies in pajamas who really needed that toilet. So I really wanted to do something that was functional. It blended into the environment. I'm using a local tile manufacturer to build the facade. And the whole thing was just kind of a moral obligation, but also creatively absurd. It appealed to my curious nature, ultimately. And, there's not many people get asked to do this sort of project.
Okay. We have any more questions? Right, okay, gentleman over there.
Hi, Michael. Thanks for your presentation. I just got a quick question. In terms of design trends in China, how do you see that perceiving in 30 or 50 years? Since China is like moving very quickly, every year, every 5 years, do you think it will be the next design hub? I know it's a very big question, but
I guess, that is a long, long time. I just read in the Daily Mail today that the Liberal Democrats in England want to stop petrol-driven cars in 30 or 40 years' time, which scares the hell out of me. You know, it's probably too long. I'd say in the next 10 years there'll be a lot of changes. And you know, I said this in an interview with DZine when I was at Design Republic in Shanghai and got criticized as someone who was incredibly arrogant, which kind of showed the sheer lack of understanding of people living in Europe, really. But if I remember when I went to Tokyo, Tokyo was the first market that ever really took to my work for some reason. And you know, if you look at the difference between Japan now and 20 years ago, it's absolutely insane. There's the whole universe of new generation has come through, and there's some of the best designers in the world come from Japan now. But 20 years ago, there was only a handful of people who were allowed to be creative due to the sort of political and bureaucratic system there. You know, so you did have some rebellious people, and I guess in many ways you can compare that to China. And I really get a bit sensitive when I talk about this stuff, but there is a whole new generation of young Chinese person who hasn't had the same political experiences as their parents, and I would only assume naturally that that level of creative freedom will actually create an entirely new universe and platform on top of communication. And you know, you can see now all of these creative areas, and when I went to Beijing Design Week, I was just blown away by the little corridors and all the enthusiasm of people just to be free and creative, and that creates economy. And I guess if that freedom keeps participating, it'll, you know, the market makes itself ultimately. And I don't see why it should be any different to anything that's gone on. When I left college 20 years ago, we had no money. We all lived in poverty. We all made our things. We made something, we sold it, and we created our own universe. And I think that's the same so for China as well, which is really exciting. Yeah.
That's it? Any more time? No? Okay, in that case, party time. I mean, okay, so we're going to have another photo taken, you know, with Michael, right? Okay.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
So, okay, our next speaker, okay, is someone that I've known for quite some time. I won't say years, okay, because compared with my age and her age, okay, I know her since she was a toddler, okay, to make her happy, okay. And if I have to describe her, okay, I would say that, you know, she is a very low-profile designer, which I believe that a lot of people would say that too. But her work always gives us a high expectation. She's Lu Lu Cheung. Lulu is one of the Hong Kong renowned fashion designers. She is famous for her simplicity but well-balanced fashion creations. Her designs can cater a wide target market for sophisticated and fashionable career women. Her signature label, Lu Lu Cheung, was launched in 1996, okay, and have gained grounds in Europe, Japan, US, Australia, China, Taiwan, and Singapore. Okay, so without further ado, okay, let me present Lu Lu Cheung. You want to sit over here or you want to go over there? All right.
Hello. First, I want to thanks for DI. And also, dear friends, let me have this chance to have this sharing. Tôi là Lu Lu. Lu Lu Cheung. Actually, my English name is transferred from my Chinese name.咁我係香港時裝設計師，咁頭先介紹咗啦。其實我係做咗時裝設計呢行已經係超過30年嘅。咁但係我嘅心仲係好 young 嘅，所以我上嚟都會嘅心仲係卜跳得好緊要。每一次出嚟都係咁。所以我希望直至今次，其實我係 review 咗自己一次咧，真係好多謝。咁令到自己可以響行嘅路上咧，可以自己更加清楚。原來係自己過去有好多嘅一啲嘅過失，同埋可能我自己係經歷過嘅嘢，我都希望係即係今日你哋聽咗，可以成為你哋一啲可以參考嘅一啲嘅片段。咁正如我頭先話，我做咗好耐啦，咁我其實就係即係已經都見證咗好多香港時裝品牌咁其中發展嘅一啲個過程。咁時裝就同 product design 可能真係有好多唔同。我哋即係從早以前就開始，但係我哋可能係即係好專咁，淨係做時裝喎。頭先睇見佢哋，我真係 inspire 到我。其實我哋應該有個好 free 嘅心，咁我哋可能我哋會有更多好嘅創造。咁其實從成個過程之中咧，其實我哋真係講到 branding 咧，我係真係要嚟呢度好好咁學習。所以希望你哋係都會係經過今次嘅大家嘅交流，你哋俾到好多我有啲好嘅 advice， 等我響前邊要行嘅路嗰度，我係可以更加清晰一啲。咁其實係發展品牌啦，同埋係自己個人嘅一個成長都係好有關係咧。就係我哋要了解自己。即係如果我哋係唔清楚自己，根本我哋可能做咩事，其實都唔係咁容易嘅。咁了解自己，我而家都係先介紹下我自己，因為我係一個設計師出身，我覺得係個性都係非常之重要嘅。咁我係一個樂天派嘅人嚟嘅，其實我係好開心嘅人。咁我成日都話係生命係好珍貴嘅，好值得去享受嘅。我好熱愛生命同埋大自然。咁我由細至大我都係相信有位係造物者係去 create 呢個世界，令到佢好多嘢都好美麗。同埋你去睇天象啊，你睇植物啊，全部都係生生不息。咁我成日都係掛響口邊，就係大自然就係我係設計嘅一個嘅保護，一個靈感嘅來源。咁無論係幾時，我都係中意睇下生活中嘅所有點滴，同埋就去觀察下所有啲事物。有時會見到啲雀仔、大雀仔餵細雀仔啊，或者係嗰啲樹啊、啲植物點解會寄生喺邊度？我覺得都好有趣味。咁基本上咧，我咧就係即係都係對事物係好有趣味。咁然後自己亦都係好環保嘅人嚟嘅。咁所以我係我哋啲同事以前成日話你好捱得，即係都係即係喺生活中每個點滴中去學習，同埋將嗰啲經驗累積落嚟。因為我冇咁幸運啦，咁而家你有 DI 啦，有理工啦，有咩可以學得，即係好全面嘅。咁我咧就係好珍惜咁喺每一個過程之中去學習，然後去即係行出自己嘅一條路。咁表面睇起嚟我咧就好低調嘅，同埋好即係其實係即係比較含蓄，其實都真係怕醜嘅。咁但係咧，其實你哋有啲秘密又係可能你哋都估唔到嘅。咁我咧就係其實我最中意係舞蹈嘅。咁另外我係對於有啲運動嘅嘢我都係好有興趣嘅。所以我其實我性格都係屬於係雙重性格。咁我中意剛柔並重嘅一個結合。咁我呢度都有提到啦。咁我其實我係1982年就開始攞起媽媽嘅鉸剪，咁開始做第一件衫開始嘅。咁記得我仲會可能響食飯台啊，或者響地下嗰度嚟剪衫開始。咁性格當然我係咁固執做咁多年啦，知道係好固執噶啦，所以係好多嘢係自己唔識嘅嘢自己去學去解決。咁我92年咧我就開始做自己嘅第一個品牌，係叫做 Terra Rosalis， 唔知呢度在座有冇人認識？咁我哋係即係 Lu Lu Cheung 嘅品牌就96年開始面世嘅。咁我就即係都經歷咗咁多啦，咁所以即係亦都係俾你哋睇到我經歷咗好多啦。咁其實主要都係有去即係好多個活動咧，俾人所認識嘅都係參加 TDC 嘅一啲嘅活動。咁我係好幾十 即係互相 TDC 都好即係響當時嚟講係好多活動，我哋係好 enjoy 去參加嘅。咁有一個係關於 Made in Hong Kong garment嘅 exhibition 響日本咧，我就係從嗰時開始，我就係 join TDC 嘅每一個活動，包括係香港時裝節大家所認識嘅。咁如果係響即係以前嘅履歷之中啦，我諗係即係我做過好多場嘅 fashion show， 可能就係俾大家所最認識嘅。咁無可否認，其實係響一個即係以前嚟講就冇講到 branding 或者冇講到 marketing。咁嚟講係參加咗呢啲嘅 exhibition 係無形係都係對自己係即係一個推廣，就對品牌嚟講都係一個推廣。咁喺呢度，因為個主題都係講 branding， 所以我咧都會係響我自己嘅一個即係自己係咁